Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, this time, I need to talk about UFO Series 2. That's the Big Finish box set number 2. It's kind of all going to be one series. Now, at the moment, there's only the 2 box sets. And at the very end, Nick Briggs does say if and when there's another series. Now, please buy this box set and go back and buy box set 1 because I love this. And if you don't buy it, there won't be a box set 3 or 4. I need at least 2 more. That's it. That's not the entire review, obviously, but that is basically where I'm at. Where I'm at is I need box set 3, box set 4 because I need this story to continue, if that's all right with you. As always, got some notes. This was released in March 2023, and you can only get it from the Big Finish store until April the 30th. Then you'll be able to get it in other places. Let's go through the synopsis, and then I'll chat about each one. New recruits, new technology, new threats. SHADO is nearly fully operational. But the alien menace is intensifying at a greater rate than the fledgling organisation can cope with. Under the ever-increasing pressures, Straker is repeatedly put to the test, facing unimaginable weaponry, warring factions, and a nearly insurmountable personal strain. Can the man leading the fight to defend Earth survive? That's basically it. Now, we've got 3 stories linked across this box set, which brings us up to, 6 episodes. Original TV series, you're looking at 26. But obviously, as we discussed last time, what we're dealing with here is a reboot, a reimagining of UFO. You've got the same funky and incredibly good, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, the single world's best theme tune of all time. And you can quote me on that in this show. Created by Jerry and Sylvia Anderson in a time when things weren't going particularly nicely for them both. So, you've got 3 stories. The first one, Lost in Action. An unexpected confrontation at 30,000 feet leads to a civilian casualty. With no other options, Straker must recruit the stubborn but brave pilot to join SHADO. Meanwhile, Straker's team orders the early activation of Moonbase. Oh yeah, Moonbase! Without his consent, just in time. Now the nascent organisation is being put to the ultimate test. Nascent, there's a word you don't hear very often. And SHADO's latest recruit will have to put his life on the line. This is the Paul Forrester origin story. Also starts as basically a fantastically good jumping on point. Forrester's origin story is very, very similar to the Straker origin story dealt with in box set 1. He's a test pilot too. It's weird that they've never heard of each other, but I guess that's it. They're all best of the best of the best, but they've not actually met. Fair enough. We can skate over that. Let's face it, we skated over a hell of a lot more when we were reviewing the Blu-rays. Forrester's storyline is very similar to the Exposed storyline, which is Forrester's origin story in the series. But of course, you've got him being a test pilot and him stepping up to the plate very, very quickly. So much so that there's a lot of jeopardy in the possibility that characters may or may not make it out of this alive. Well, that's quite impressive. Again, this is a Tin Dog podcast review, so I'm trying desperately not to give spoilers. And with this box set, it's quite difficult. I can't just sit here going, it's great, it's the best box set ever. Because if I do that, that will make no impact on anyone. What we need to do is talk about specifics. So, you've got Forrester's original storyline here, we've got echoes of various TV stories, but what we have got here is a great realisation of what's going on. I'll tell you what isn't mentioned at any point, including the Moonbase section. Purple wigs. At no point does anybody go, what's this purple wig business going on? No explanation. But you are, when you're listening to this, imagining these women and men, it's women in purple wigs, the men just wear sort of fishnet. Why is it mainly women on the moon? We discussed this again at great length. Story number 2 seems to be based mainly on 2 stories which have been merged into one. It's the man who came back and also, and this is important, time lash. Time Lash. Yeah, now that was primarily an episode designed to show off some of the video capabilities of the episode. That's the Blu-ray version. Now this one's actually called Assassination Time. Even in the extras, they discussed that it could be called Assassination/Time. I get that. I genuinely do. Great episode. It makes use of the stuff that didn't make sense in Time Lash and makes it make sense. The Man Who Came Back stuff, again, very, very nicely done. And it's all brought together better. You see, these stories have been written by two people. They've been written by Nick Briggs and Jamie Anderson. And then they've given each other the scripts, given each other the notes, gone back and done it. So basically, it's almost the work of two auteurs on this one. Now, admittedly, they're reworking other people's stories, but they're reworking to such an extent that you end up with something beautiful and new. You can go, oh, that's from this episode. But storyline-wise, they've tightened it up, which is what Big Finish do incredibly well. And they've given us something special, something very special when it comes to this. If you're a fan of the original TV series, don't even bother messing about. Just go away and buy this now. Stop listening to this podcast, this YouTube video, whatever, however you're experiencing this, and then just go off and just buy it. So that's Assassination Time. Time Lash is even name-checked at the end of the episode, which makes everyone go, yeah, cool. Finally, the box set ends with Breaking Point. How do I talk about Breaking Point without giving spoilers? It's got moments from Confetti Check, A-OK, and a couple of other episodes. It deals with, tell you what, let's look at the synopsis and then I can talk about what it says here without any risk of spoilers. SHADO faces a severe security breach, swiftly followed by the most intense and highly coordinated alien threat that it's ever seen. Straker now faces unimaginable pressures from every angle. The strain is on him and his organisation reach impossible levels. Mistakes will be made, lives will be lost. Could this be the end? Based on the original TV series by Jerry and Sylvia Anderson. So, Straker's going to be under a lot of pressure in this story. SHADO is invaded, but not by who you would think. There's stuff going on. There's a lot of levels gone into in this storyline, in this box set. And there's a lot of stuff dealt with here that is... You're a fan of the original series, yes? The original TV series. And you know that there's a couple of moments that are incredibly, incredibly dark. Stuff where even me and Luke, when we were chatting about it, went, I can't believe they just killed that person. And then you've got what happens to Straker afterwards. You know what I'm referring to. You know that it's part of Straker's development. The extinguishing of a certain character. And you think all the way through this episode, they're not going to do that. They wouldn't do that here, would they? And then it builds and you think, they're not going to do that. And they might or might not do that. But they might not. Look, I hate giving away spoilers. What I want to say is that the emotional beats and the darkness is important, is intrinsic to UFO. And it needs to be gone into, and it needs to be given back to us as an audience, because we'd be disappointed. It's not just about imagining the fantastic mobiles trundling around the forest or anything like that. What it's about, UFO is always about the characters, about how the humans deal with things. And you've got a lot of stuff going on here, like the time weapons, like the pod, the contents of which, all of that business, very important and definitely sowing the seeds for the future. So please, and I don't often ask you for this, obviously, here's the trailer, listen for yourself, decide for yourself. But as far as I'm concerned, you must get this. You just must. So until next time, be seeing you.
This is Space Intruder Detector. All systems tested and online.
From Big Finish Productions, UFO, Breaking Point.
Activation confirmed. Thank you, Reactor Control. We have full power to all Moonbase systems.
Surely it can't just be a coincidence. that the aliens had sent more UFOs to test our defenses when Sid went online.
You mean they're somehow getting information on Shadow's operations?
Somehow, or from someone.
Are you from the military? Because if you are, you are the reason my life is over.
Commander Straker to medical bay. Commander, but how are you already here?
You put a call out about 3 minutes ago.
No one will talk about it. It wasn't just your military aircraft, it was something else. An unidentified flying object. I saw a UFO, clear as day.
You're suggesting that Foster and every inch of Sky 2 was vaporized?
He just stopped, like he's frozen. And his watch, it stopped. Wait a minute. Listen.
Not a sound. Anywhere.
Everything's stopped.
He claims to be a Mr. Paul Foster.
This is crazy. It can't be him. There's no way he could have survived. Because I knew he was lying to us. And that lie was destroying this family.
I care about every man, woman, and child who has ever been and ever will be abducted, killed, or worse.
Worse?
A UFO attack?
No, sir. It's a base security alert.
What?
We have an intruder.
What is that thing?
Roll starboard and climb.
No!
Interceptors in position. Launching now.
Interceptors now within firing range of targets.
Firing now! Destruct positive!
Big Finish, for the love of stories.